You're listening to the Call Kent podcast, where Kent C. Dodds answers questions and gives insights to software engineers like you. Now, let's hear the call.
Hi, Kent. This is Marco. I had a question, or more like seeking for your advice, whether I should quit current job position to look for another place that I can really grow efficiently. I joined current team about 3 years ago and found we were using some tech stack that was quite popular, like React, Redux, Saga, and of course we were testing libraries. That looks like something promising and hot technologies, but I was believing I can learn and grow a lot from them. However, I quickly found that no one in the team really knows the best use of these technologies, and I saw anti-patterns at every places. I tried to propose some change and sending refactoring commit. It's not only there are just too many of these things, but also the team constantly somehow refuses to accept the improvement idea, even after some lengthy discussion. In the end, the team cannot really say no to the improvement I propose, but rather they just kind of like say, Marco, do it the way you like. We are fine with how it is doing now. So I've noticed the whole product is getting harder and harder to maintain, and there are many bugs are showing up over time. And still, I have been trying to improve the code base, but I feel quite lonely as most of the time I seem to be the only person who knows how to write good code. And it takes me a lot of time staring at smelly codes, proposing changes and getting rejected most of the time. To be honest, in the past 3 years, I learned very few things from the product and spend too much personal time trying to fix things by myself. And the experience does not seem to be worth being written in my resume. So I would like to know if you have similar experience and how do you handle or change the way you work, or maybe it's worth my time to quit and look for another position or job that I can learn not only by myself, but also from the great work from the others, the team, which seems to be more efficient in the limited time of my life. Appreciate to any comment. Thank you.
And that was the call. Here's what Kent had to say.
Hey there, Marco. Thank you for the question. I always get a little nervous when I get questions about from people asking if they should quit their job or something like that. It is difficult for me to give you a really solid answer on that because I don't know you very well or the situation very well or at all. And so you need to take all of this with a grain of salt. But from listening to you asking this question, it sounds very clear that you are dissatisfied with this position. And from the way that it sounds like things are, you are not in the wrong to be dissatisfied. It sounds like you're kind of fighting an uphill battle, and you've definitely given it time, as you've been there for 3 years, to see whether things can improve. So this definitely does seem like a situation where it may be worth looking for another opportunity. If you've tried to help get people on board with better ways to produce the product and everything. You always want to make sure that it's not just a situation where you're thinking, well, this is the way that I like to write code, but where it's a subjective thing. You want to make sure that you're not just trying to work through your subjective feelings about the way to write code, but it sounds like this is actually causing business problems for them and making it so that the team is less productive, and they're just not listening to your feedback. So definitely sounds like a situation where you might consider looking for another opportunity. Let's assume for a moment that you decide you want to stay, because if you're looking for another opportunity, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But let's assume that you would like to stay, and how can we make this better? I do have a blog post about business and engineering alignment, and so I'll link to that. But the basic idea is how you can convince the business folks to let you get the things that you want, and in particular, the in this case, what you want is higher quality code and using the tools that you have available to the fullest. And so the objective will be to first convince yourself that you are in the right and that making the changes that you would like to make will make things better for the mission of the company, whatever that is, or the mission of the product. And then if you can convince yourself, then you can convince the business folks and say, hey, listen, here are the tangible problems that we have because of the way that things are. And here's my suggestion of how we can improve those things. And if you can manage that conversation, then it becomes a situation where the engineers who don't jump on board are the ones who are pulling the product back and not allowing you to reach your full potential and push you toward the goal. And so then you can have conversations about having the real bosses talk to the engineers and say, hey, listen, we all decided that this is the way that we're going to do things so that we can improve the product, and you're not making those changes. So those are a couple of ideas. Like I said, I'll link to the blog post, but that sounds like you're in a tough spot, and you definitely have given it a fair shake being there for 3 years. So I don't think anybody could blame you for looking for another opportunity as well. So I hope that's helpful to you. Good luck. That sounds really frustrating. I think you've got options of things that you could do if you want to stay there. But yeah, definitely something that you could start looking into, looking at other jobs. So good luck, Marco. Take care.
This has been the Call Kent podcast. Learn more about Kent at kentcdodds.com and get your own questions answered at kentcdodds.com/calls.